Hello everyone, this is Mike with the ShadowTrader Stock and Options Room. I have a couple different markets I want to look at this morning. Briefly, I want to touch on gold here. I really believe that there might be some opportunities shaping up here. Even though we have moved quite a ways, we have a large trend in the backdrop. We have this trend that has been more recent, that is very strong, and now a pullback. So the question is this pullback an opportunity to get long for something that is going to be happening possibly for going forward? I think the answer to that is yes. And what I'm looking at here is how this auction has boxed itself here. Yes, it's fallen out of this trend, but then it is also dividing itself up very technically inside of what it's doing right now. We've got this V-shaped recovery, and we have a inverse head and shoulder type pattern right here. The right shoulder is getting a bit elongated, but this has a very bullish structure to me. What's also intriguing about it is that we have an unfinished high. Can you guys see that okay? We have an unfinished high really right here. I consider this pretty weak. Yes, we have three slightly different pivots right there, but I consider this whole thing getting weak, and the fact that it has been tested this often makes it so that if it comes back up here, it increases the odds that that's going to break. We also have a very unfinished looking high up here at the top. So that all added together feels bullish to me, and I am going to be looking at taking a long trade, even though this is in the middle of this box. Some might want to wait and for a breakout up here. I wouldn't mind taking a shot at it as it breaks, because this is so well divided up all the way through this auction, all the way back through here. So as long as it continues to respect that line, I would be willing to play it. So that's my plan with gold. Briefly, well, maybe not so briefly, it's going to take me a bit to talk about oil. You guys know that I've been talking bearish oil for quite a while now. I did a shadow short on this. Oh, let's see, I did two of them actually, one in October 22nd and November 21st. I laid out my scenario here for a bearish picture on gold, or on oil. So if I take and show you the larger time frame here again, this is very bearish to me. This low is been tested and tested and tested. If you recall the last time I talked about it, I was surprised that we didn't break down out of this level right here. So remembering what all of this looks like in that large descending triangle, we had an attempt to go higher here that came to this level, which I already had established there, and rejected solidly. Now we've come back down, drifted below this level, we've washed it out a bit, but now we're all the way back down here. And so to me, it's even more bearish now than it was before. If I take and blow this up to a daily, it's just a pattern that in auction terms, the more it knocks on this door, that's what I was saying back here, the greater the odds are that it will break. Well, now we have more information. We have a large reversal right here. And I will be amazed, I've probably said this before, but I will be amazed if we don't break out of the bottom of this large structure right here. And if that be the case, then what might happen? Well, with this much testing going on, I anticipate that this break could be fairly dynamic. And we may see some huge capitulation by the bulls here and some momentum on the downside. I don't know that. And you can see that I'm playing around with channels. Would it go all the way down into the 40s and 50? Would it go all the way to 30? I have no idea. I've heard some pretty pretty convincing arguments from people who are bullish oil right now and would recommend buying it here. But to me, the auction and the structure does not say that. I completely disagree with that. And again, I'll be amazed if this doesn't break out of here. So that being said, what's the play? Well, a breakdown of some sort if the structure in the near term would allow that. Now, I'm noticing something here that has transpired this week. If you note through here, you have this orange line, which is it takes up all through here, but doesn't include the pivots below it. But this is the last one that finished right at that level, which is also running right through there. Well, if you take a look at this up close now, I'm going to go all the way in to a 1 hour. That orange line was tested right here. It was tested here from the top. It was respected and tested and argued over right here. So that tells you that the auction, that traders are paying attention to that pivot line. That's really good information. And if this is, I actually made a comment to the subscribers that this was a short trade right here, and it did indeed roll over, but now it's come back up and popped through it. But well, look what it's doing now. It's respecting it from the top, but arguing over it. The bulls are having a hard time here, and this is just plain and simple in my eyes. I think it's going to be very interesting on that pivot. That it's a V, inverted V right there. I think it's going to be very interesting now as we open up. It is Sunday morning here, Alaska time, as we open up in the overnight and into tomorrow to see what happens with this auction level right here, this low volume pivot level. And I don't know if, I would say this for gold as well, I don't know if this is going to be the magical time when the small traders who are paying attention to things like this are going to harmonize with larger traders that are actually building this chart on the weekly scale. I have a firm belief that the chart is built by the deeper pockets, by the larger money. And the smaller stuff like this is all small traders. But I hunt for that magical moment when they come together and the small traders will give me an opportunity to join what the big traders are doing in the background. And if this is that moment, a breakdown here with a stop right above this level is worth a shot for me. So keep an eye on this. I wanted to point that out. I don't really think there's too much more to say about this chart. This is a trade I'm watching. I'm watching that gold trade, and I thought that I would point those out for you. I wanted to end this video with just a few comments on how things are going for me this year. Many of you that have followed me for the last couple of years know that the last 2 years, 2023, 2024, were great years, 240 and 250% returns in the room account consecutively. This year I'm having a bit of a struggle trying to get out of the gate here. I'm about 20% down, and working my system. My system is very much in line with the Pareto principle. I'm not sure how you say that, but the guy that wrote the book on the 20-80, 20% of my trades definitely produce most of my results, 80% of the results. And so I'm in a bit of a drawdown, but let this possibly be the first time that someone, a professional trader, invites you to join him in trading that is in a drawdown. Let me be the first one. I would like to invite you to come to the ShadowTrader room and join us on our work together, looking at charts and studying the process, learning how to lose, learning how to go through a drawdown. It's been a great year actually, because this is a reality of trading, and so I anticipate turning this ship around and moving the needle back to the upside. And I'd like to invite you to head over to ShadowTrader.net and check out the subscription there. And I right now am doing 3 days a week, and I go from anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, starting at noon Eastern. And I'd love to have you join me and go through these charts together and learn along with me.